Welcome back to my channel, guys. It's time for chapter 4 of The Lonely Castle in the Mirror. Welcome once again, guys. Yes, I have a new mic, and hopefully this mic works perfect. I am trying it out for a few videos. I did get it through the TikTok shop, and I have a video there on my TikTok. So if you want to see that, it is on my description below. But pretty good mic, at least when it comes to it being easy to set up. I love that it has this light that just continues changing. So it's nice. I do like it. I was looking for something like this where it's easy to place and remove, because I record always on the go. So yeah. Chapter 4 of Lonely Castle in the Mirror. This chapter was, in my point of view, the most intense chapter of them all. So yeah, if you've been watching my first three videos, then this is the most intense one. If you haven't seen my first 3 videos on this series, they are on my channel, so you guys can always go and watch those and come back, or not. Before anything, guys, if you haven't done so by now, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Give some love by comments, liking, and sharing. This is one of the mini series that I'm doing chapter by chapter, and I really am enjoying this series. So hopefully you guys can find it yourself. There is 1 volume out. It is by 7 Seas. Well, not by 7 Seas. It's by Mizuki Tsujimura, but 7 Seas is releasing it here in the U.S. So yeah, hopefully there's a volume 2 already out. If not, we're gonna have to wait for it to release. But so far it is darker than I thought it was. For some reason, because it is a movie, I just assumed it was going to be a little bit more lighthearted, which I really wasn't hitting for lighthearted, to be honest. But it just, the beginnings just kind of seemed like that. So we start off again. Chapter 4, Kokoro is having fun with all the other kids in the castle. She does realize that out of everyone, Fuka is kind of giving her a cold shoulder. And she realizes it started because Kokoro hasn't really said anything to Ureshino, who has been head over heels for her, and Kokoro has noticed that basically she can't do anything without Orishino wanting to be right next to her. And again, this is the boy that she had a crush on Aki first, and now she has a crush on Kokoro. So it becomes way too overwhelming for her. Aki and Fuka seem to have girl on girl time, and Kokoro really wanted to have more female friends. Now, all this is a little confusing because, you know, up to now, Kokoro is a more quiet kid. She is a shut-in. She didn't want to go to school. So you come with that question of, well, I thought she didn't want to have that girl-on-girl relationship, when it comes to friendships. And then in this chapter, she really wants it. So it was kind of confusing. She then says that basically everything was coming to be the same as what it was when she was in school. So she decides to stop going to the castle. It's been 6 days, and we get a little background story on Kokoro. Kokoro essentially was bullied in school, in middle school. She started going to middle school, and she explains how basically the middle school was composed of like 6 or 5 elementaries. One, basically 100% of their kids went to it, and then the other ones, just part of them went to it. So she was one of the ones where not a lot of her classmates ended up in that middle school, so she didn't know a lot of people. There's a girl, specifically Sanada, who became very popular. She came from the school where a lot of kids came from. A lot of people knew her already, and she just became and was at the top of the food chain when it came to society. Well, Sanada basically starts pursuing a boy who was friends with Kokoro, Ikeda. Ikeda then asks Kokoro to go on a private conversation, and then tells her that she's a pig, he doesn't like her, and so on and so forth. And Sanada comes out of the shadows, laughing with friends, and lets Kokoro know that, you know, she's not going to be loved ever. And later on, Kokoro finds out that Ikeda and Sanada basically started being the thing, and Sanada find out that Ikeda had a crush on Kokoro in elementary, which makes Sanada very, very jealous of her. So Kokoro was really just a victim of jealousy, undirected jealousy, to be honest, because she didn't have really a thing for Ikeda. Well, that's why she stopped going to school. We then go back to the present time. We do find out that she has an older brother. Mom is trying to invite Kokoro to go buy clothes, and the older brother, he bullies her, and I just want to throw this out. It doesn't seem that cruel of a joke, but keeping in mind that Kokoro is very sensitive right now when it comes to psychologically thinking, it hurt more than it should have. And that is that he tells Kokoro, like, oh yeah, mom only wants to go shopping because she wants to shop for herself and not for you. And Kokoro kind of feels bad about that. So she ends up saying no, she wants to be in her room, and she goes into the castle finally after 6 days. There he finds Urashino, and she's about to tell him to stop bothering her when she realizes that he's not bothering her anymore. He's bothering Fuka. Now she's moved on to the third girl in the group, and everyone basically, you know, kind of shifted their attention of the fact that he's all over heels Fuka. Now Fuka does explode and says, like, leave me alone, you're pathetic, blah, 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 blah. And eventually Aki saves the day by pulling Fuka and Urashino away and having tea together. Now, they do have some time together as girls, and in this time, Aki shares her story to them. And while sharing the story, we find out that Aki hasn't really shared this to anyone. She's kind of gone through this pain all by herself, and it is something that she's not, I mean, she's not used to share her story with other people. So she does share her story, and the chapter ends with her saying, and then a bunch of girls arrived at my home. Now, this part of the story we haven't heard yet. We just heard when she stopped going to school because Sanada was bullying her, right? So she just stopped going, and now the story continues. There's a bunch of girls at her home. Now, there's only one chapter left after this one, so I'm a little bummed out in the sense that I might not find out what happens next, but I hope I do, because it's getting pretty intense. So we'll have to see. For now, guys, this is a great series. I am really enjoying this series, and again, if you haven't checked it out, go check it out. You guys can find it on your local bookstores or maybe online. I am working close with a company right now to get some links for you guys so you guys can get some discounts on these mangas, but for now I still haven't been able to close the deal, so hopefully in the future I will. So thank you guys so much for watching this. If you haven't done so by now, subscribe to my channel, give some love by commenting, liking, and sharing, and I will see you the next time. Like always, don't be strangers. See you guys.